So if you are homeless or you're about to be homeless, I'm going to give you some shelter tips. So let's get straight into it. The first thing first is you want to make sure that you have a tent, you want to make sure you have a tarp, and you want to make sure you have a comfortable blanket so that you can sleep. And if you can't find one online, if you're about to become homeless, you can always go to like Walmart or some type of, pawn shop or some type of like hiking store or something and get you a comfortable pop-out tent. The reason why you want to get the pop-up tent is because they're easier to pack and to unpack, and you can go ahead and get your gear there. Also, the second thing I want to talk about is always try to get a place to sleep before nightfall. And the reason why I'm saying this is because at nightfall is very dangerous, especially if you're a woman out there on the street. So whether it's going to be in the bushes, under the bridge, abandoned buildings, somewhere on a rooftop, anywhere, you want to make sure that you have at least 2 to 3 spots. You don't want to just have one spot, because what if the police come by and, they're searching that area, or they're telling you, hey, you have to move, or, if there's bad company by that spot. You always want to try to find 2 to 3 spots that you can sleep peacefully. Another thing to be safe is homeless shelters. Homeless shelters in your area, I know a lot of you hate them. You say, yo, that's horrible. They're very bad. There's a lot of demonic energy there. There's a lot of bad people there. But I'm telling you, if you can get you a homeless shelter, if you are new to being homeless, especially for my new people, try at least one time. For all my vets out there who've been homeless for like 2-3 years plus, I know you don't like homeless shelters, so let's not even get into that. Another thing is, for my car people out there, you can sleep in your car for the time being. I know a lot of you are going to say that's obvious, but trust me, a lot of people think sleeping in your car is gross, or they think like that's not good. No, if you can sleep in your car, sleep in your car. You just got to find a spot, whether that's going to be at Walmart, at Cracker Barrel, at Wawa. Wawa, I heard, is a real good spot, especially for like, midnight and stuff like that. So if you have a vehicle, you are blessed, and you have a much higher chance of being safer than the people who are on the street. So God bless for that one. The library. I know a lot of you aren't going to agree with me on this one, but the library is a great place to stay during the day, not the night, the day, so you can charge electronics and you can get a good night's sleep. And what I mean by a good night's sleep, so let's say you go to the library 8 o'clock in the morning and the library closed down at 5 p.m. You could be there from like 8 to 4, make sure everything is charged, make sure that you're being respectful, and sit in your little corner. If you got to go slouch and just go to sleep right there in the library. In New York, when I lived there, a lot of the homeless were doing that. There were like easily 25 homeless people in that library, and they were all spread out, and some of them were sleeping, some of them were applying to jobs, some of them were playing games, some of them were reading. But the libraries, literally, they would stay there until closing time. And where I lived at the time in New York, they did not have a problem with that. So if you do want to sleep during the day and then stay up during the night, that is one method you can do. Check out your local library and make sure you have 2 or 3 libraries you can go to, because maybe one library just don't want you there. Maybe they just want to kick you out. Who knows? So always have a backup option when it comes to the library. I'm not telling you to break the law, but you can sleep on rooftops. In New York, that is very, very common for a lot of homeless people to go on rooftop, whether that's going to be like a Burger King, whether it's going to be apartment complex building, whether it be abandoned building, whatever it is. A lot of the homeless will legit wait until nightfall. So that's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, climb up on a ladder or climb up on something, go on the roof and sleep up there. And a lot of them say it's just comfortable. Yes, there are bugs on the rooftops, but you know what? It's better than being on the street level with people and bugs. So that is another way you can go ahead and get your shelter if you do have that pop-up tent and that tarp and that comfortable blanket that I talked about in the beginning of the video. Same thing with abandoned buildings. A lot of them are rotting away, but be very careful, because some of them, they're contaminated with bad chemicals and stuff. If you are going to go sleep in those abandoned buildings that I told you before, same thing with the bushes. You got to be careful. You got to the poison ivy, you might have a snake in there, frogs, whatever it is. Be very careful when you're going to go find shelter in these places. Another safe spot that I see a lot of homeless people, they sleep, is under bridges. Legit, here in Florida, I was walking under a bridge and I seen a mattress and I seen like a backpack and everything, and someone was living there, and nobody bothered them. I didn't bother them, but I walked under the bridge a few times because it's like a path where I would have to go through for a trail, and that mattress and that bag sometimes was there, sometimes it wasn't. So that is another place you can go sleep. Just be very careful if you are going to sleep under the bridge. It is going to be very noisy. You are going to hear the water, you're going to hear cars, and you, like I said, for me, I had a trail, so you might even have people walk by, and that's another place where you can get some shelter. Now, during the day, you can stay at park. Just be very careful, because the police may tell you to move because you're loitering, or you're trespassing or whatever. I have seen the people, especially in Florida right now, they will go to the park, and the police station where I'm living is like right across from the park, and they will stay there, no lie. They will stay there from early in the morning. I'm talking about 6 o'clock in the morning all the way until night, until like probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then they'll just do it all over again. And the police in my town do not bother those homeless people that sleep in the park, because I mean, where else they're gonna go? And the park that I have It's like a there's tables, and then there's like a roof cap for the sun, so the sun doesn't burn you up. And it'll be like 10-15 of them just sitting over there, either chatting it up, or someone will bring hot dogs, hamburgers, and they'll just start eating and they sleep. So you can use the park during the day, and then at nighttime, obviously you're gonna have to leave. And if you don't leave, the police can trespass you and you can get a ticket or you can get arrested. And that's another thing. A lot of homeless people, they will purposely get arrested to go sleep, get free meals and stuff. Do not do that. Don't do that. You do not want a record. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you need to give up on yourself. I'm telling you, do not commit a crime and go get arrested on purpose. That is idiotic. I don't care how bad life get. You do not want to do that, because you're only digging a hole deeper for yourself in a bad way. And you're basically becoming a pawn for the government. When I mean a pawn for the government, if you're in prison or if you're in jail or whatever, the government's making money off of you. So do not do that at all. Please, I'm telling you, that is so dumb. Now, next tip I have for you is you can couch surf with a group of friends back to back. And what I mean by a group of friends, if you do have friends, is if you have 4 friends, right? And let's just say, hey, dude, let me crash at your place for 2 days. And then you'll tell the next friend that, hey, dude, let me crash it. And I know a lot of you are going to say, yo, that's crazy. You're freeloading off your friends. But you can tell your friends about the situation. You know, you're down and out right now. You just need a place to crash for 2 days. And while you're there, you can do their dishes. You can take out their garbage. You can wipe their windows. You can clean up the living room. You clean up the bathroom, whatever it is, so you don't feel like you're freeloading. But 2 days are the limit. I'm telling you, do not want to spend 3-4 days there, especially if they have family or if they have like a girlfriend or something or a boyfriend, whatever. Do not stay at your friend's house more than 2 days. And when you do stay there, if you can't pay them back in cash, that's fine. Like I said before, clean up the house or the apartment and make sure everything is good, and basically do their chores for them, because they're letting you stay at their place. The least you can do is do a chores for them. So that is another thing, how to get shelter. Now, another way I want to tell you how to get shelter, if you have a little bit of cash on you, you could try and get a cheap room at a motel. And now, a motel where I am at right now, currently, again, in Florida, is $40 to $70 a day. But if you stay a week, they might give you a little discount. So what I mean by a little discount is, you know, let's say instead of paying, I don't know, $300 for the week, you can go ahead and maybe pay like $180 or $240 or something like that. I mean, hey, you're saving money. So that's only if you have a little bit of money and you just want to get off the street for maybe a week or so or a few days. Always find a cheap motel. Yes, it's going to have cockroaches. It might have a lizard in it. It might have a snake. The stains might be, you know, the sheets might have a stain on it. But you know what? That's better than just being on the street. So that is another way how to get a little bit of shelter if you are homeless currently on the street. And that'll also give you a few extra days to go apply to jobs and to freshen up. Let's say you got an interview and you just need a motel, you know, for a week, and your interview was in 3 days. You can stay there, you get good night's sleep. You know, just make sure you're prepping in the mirror or something what you're going to say during the interview, etc. And last but not least is, speaking of jobs, if you can find a job that if you can work there and they'll just give you free housing. So for example, let's say you go work on a farm or something, or, you know, go pick apples or whatever, they'll give you free housing, they'll give you a little bit of money, and that will be it. I know a lot of people who do that in New York. There are a lot of like the immigrants that will come from Jamaica or something. They call it a camp. So they'll apply for this job. It's like wolfing. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like a farming job, and they'll go pick peaches or whatever the season is. And the guy will be like, okay, I'll give you guys this house to live in, this home. It's like trailers. They'll live in it, and then they'll get what, $300 a month, $500 a month. Remember, they're from a different country, so they don't realize that's a little bit of money, but they get free housing and you get at least a little cash, you know what I mean? So that is another organization you can look into if you need housing, if you need shelter. Go work on a farm and then, you know, get free housing. And it's only going to be seasonal, maybe 3-4 months, but like I said, it's better than being on the street. Be very careful on that. Some websites out there or some programs might be sketchy, so make sure you look into the good ones. I'm not sure about Florida, but I definitely know for New York they do that for 3-4 months and then they go on about their life. So that's another way how to get a shelter. I am going to make more videos, like I said. I know I keep saying that in my other 2 videos, but I'm going to put out more homeless tip videos, and I am going to make sure that you guys are getting the information that you need. Please share this video to a lot of people out there so they can go ahead and do better in their life and they can get back on their feet. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you stay humble, make sure you stay positive. Please make sure you stay safe out there, and peace out.